think my mad professor haircut. Yeah, that looks good. I like it. I like it a lot. Hey, what's up, everyone? Danny Kaey is the name. SonicFlare, the game. Last time I got knocked for drinking Diet Crack, so I figured I'd change it up. Today we're drinking a roaster up the street here in lovely Maine. Freshly roasted Arabica. And out of a Starbucks mug that I got, I think for Christmas one year. Anyway, the obligatory sip. Wait a minute. Just kidding. Tastes really good. So, today on the episode, what are we talking about, kids? Thank you for joining. You back there, quiet down. Yes, we are talking about something really, really cool that I've been meaning to talk about for the longest time, but just didn't happen as quickly as I thought it would. Anyway, what am I talking about? The EMM Labs DSEQ1 V2 energizer amplifier phono stage. It's a phonograph record that it's transcribing, so I guess it would be a phono stage. Anyway, 4 DS audio optical cartridges. And you can see it right over here. And of course, there is going to be B-roll for you to look at as well. But quick history rundown, and hence my sort of mad professor style hairdo today. We're going to talk a little bit about DS audio in general, what their cartridges are all about. There's so many misconceptions still, which boggles the mind, especially when I hear it from journalists in the audiophilia world of exotica. That just completely trips me up when I listen to a podcast or I see a video from someone, and they still don't understand what a DS audio optical cartridge is, how it works, or what it does. Anyway, whatever. Let the kids be kids. I am the adult in the room. So, quick paragraph history on EMM Labs. So, of course, brainchild of Ed Meitner. Most people would think that he's like most people think that he is the be-all, end-all as far as digital, DSD, of course. But really, one of his main passions and where he came from was analog design. And, truly, I think in my humble opinion, which is not so humble, I feel that Ed is really a true audio electronics guru specializing in genuine high-end audio electronics and the development thereof and the expansion of what's possible. And so back in 2019 at the Rocky Mountain Audio Show, I do miss that show. Marge, can you put that back on, please? Anyway, we have too many shows now. Ed pulled me aside. It was, Danny, I'm working on this thing prototype. I want you to hear it. And the rest kind of really fell very quickly like dominoes, which was that he sent me this pre-production prototype, and I had just requested a DS Audio cartridge, which was at the time the second generation of their cartridges. And even with the lowest end E1 at the time and Ed's board, I was like, you got to be kidding me. This is vinyl playback from a $800 cartridge? Can't possibly be. Then, of course, I went through 3 or 4 of the other cartridges they had and basically ended up on the third generation of cartridges, which really sort of cemented itself around the Grandmaster for me personally. And I still kept the E1, which I think is still a phenomenal cartridge even today. And now, what fascinated me so about this combo of EMM Labs and the DS Audio optical cartridge was just a genuinely higher level of vinyl playback than what I was hearing, even with the best MC cartridges that I have or had at the time. And it really still holds true. I think there's been some development on the MC side of things. There's been some development on the MC phono amplifiers and stuff. But fundamentally, when you look at it, and this is kind of like where we're going a little bit into what DS audio is and isn't, is first of all, there's no magnets or coils in the playback chain. The cartridges work on a photo diode system. And I'll drop a link to their website below where you can see there's a shading plate. It's like a V for left and right channel. And as the stylus dances through the grooves, that plate is moving. There's two photodiodes that detect that movement against the back plate. And that gets basically, that change, right, gets amplified into a signal, which then obviously that's what the equalizer does, or energizer, or phono stage, whatever you want to call it. And you cannot use an MC or phono stage for this. It has to be proprietary to the DS audio optical system. Again, because it does not use magnets or coils to create the sound or the electrical signal, so to speak. And so, you're dealing with a system that is 1/10 the mass of an MC cartridge, or an MM cartridge for that matter. You have no hum. It is fully analog. Let me repeat that. It is fully analog. There is no digital transmission or content creation or conversion or anything that you want to consider being digital associated with this, period, full stop, none, zero. Just a few days ago, I was speaking to a friend of mine, and he was told by another friend that it's digital. And I'm like, dude, where, why, how? Anyway, by the way, it really is very similar to the original video disc, laser disc from 1978, from Philips, which, of course, was not digital. Thank you very much. The laser disc did not operate digitally. It operated in the analog domain. Do you get it? Yes, yes, yes. Okay, cool. All right, now that we have that out of the way. Also, while I'm talking about misconceptions and such around the optical cartridge and how it works, there's a bunch that come up that are just, I ask myself, like, why, how? You can't play colored vinyl. You can't play clear vinyl. Oh my God, I can't listen to my UHQRs. Oh no. BS, guys. Completely untrue. You can play any kind of record that you can play with a normal cartridge. You can play with a DS audio cartridge as well. Bar none. Period. Full stop. 7-inch 45s, 10-inch 45s, 12-inch 33s, whatever you want to throw at it. It will play it, period. Another thing that I hear often is, oh, you can't play it back if the record, or it won't play dirty records, or records that have groove noise, or records that have ticks and pops. I'm like, dude, are you kidding me? Seriously? Complete nonsense. Horse caca, as I say it so often, right? Seriously. Complete nonsense. Plays any vinyl, however you were to play a vinyl record with an MC or an MM cartridge, you will be playing it back exactly the same way with the DS audio cartridge. Period. Full stop. That's it. How often do I have to say it? Period. Full stop. This is probably, what, the 9th time now? Do you get it? Okay, cool. And so you... where was I? Right. So the advantages are obviously, back to the advantages. They're numerous, right? You have a much lighter mass. Let's keep in mind vinyl 101 physics. It's a physics, a simple physics identifier that, depending on the frequency in the groove, the stylus will see anywhere from 50 to 1600 Gs of force being applied to it. Think about that. Just for reference, as I always say, a space shuttle takes off at about 2.5, 3 Gs, right? So this sees on the upper end of up to 1,600 Gs of force impacting the stylus. So you want that mechanism to be as light as possible so that it can deal with the acceleration, deceleration, etc. Second of all, or third of all, fourth of all, it bypasses the RIAA curve. And, the thing with the RIAA curve is that, in the range of 500 to 2 kilohertz, it's least effective, right? And so I'm going to drop a bit of a technical explainer, descriptor into the description box below. And you can read that up in more detail. By way of the cartridge itself and the system, the playback system, being a absolute position detector, not a velocity detector. So in other words, it doesn't measure the rate of change. It shows the absolute position, which is very beneficial when you're playing records with ticks and pops. Because guess what? Those ticks and pops are not going to be as pronounced, not nearly as pronounced as they are with a velocity-based system, which is what all MC and MM cartridges are, right? And so you still will hear ticks and pops, but they're not going to be that, oh my God, I just heard this nasty tick, right? It's going to be much more subdued, just by way of the way the process functions and the amplification functions. What else? What else is there to say? I mean, again, it truly was at the time when I heard it, and still today, 5 years later, is bar none, in my humble opinion, the best vinyl playback that you can get. Now, people always ask me, hey, what if I want is it compatible? Are the systems? And of course, today we have not only EMM Labs, which was the very first to offer a third-party solution to the DS Audio optical cartridge equalization. Now you have, I think there's probably 10 or 12 companies out there doing it. In fact, I just saw one at high-end Reed decided to get into the game with a $65,000 be-all, end-all, dual box, fancy-looking optical decoder, energizer, phono stage, whatever you want to call it. And so Solution, I believe, has it. There's a bunch of companies out there, more and more, right? It's really amplified itself over time. Moreover, Aki, behind DS Audio, has also opened up the cartridge business as an OEM. And so now companies like Reed, for example, can get a cartridge designed and manufactured by DS Audio to their spec within the range of, keeping compatibility in check, et cetera, because yes, all these cartridges and phono equalizers are compatible with one another. So you can use a DS Audio optical cartridges with any of these and interchange systems within each cartridge level to any other system, right? And so one of the recommendations that I've been, dishing out, so to speak, over the years is, get the entry-level Meitner EQ2, which is around $5,500 US. Pair it up with the entry-level DS 001, which is now into the third generation. Again, I'm having problems with my fingers today. Third generation, and you're really going to get bang-up, unbelievable sound that, again, I think, and just about everybody that's heard it would tend to agree, it sounds way, way better than MC-based systems at each of those price points or above. So this brings me to today then, where EMM Labs, they've just gone through a complete redo of their electronics for their amps, preamp, or the preamp's coming, I think, any minute now. The digital, the DACs, and of course, the EQ1 and EQ2 boards have also been updated to V2 status. And, again, I don't like to speak in terms of hyperbole. I don't like to, best ever, oh my God, this is insane, this is amazing. Because guess what? Even as I say that, in my humble opinion, this is the best vinyl playback, objectively, speaking, guess what? My old MC cartridges or my new MC cartridges, they still sound great, right? There's nothing wrong with them. It's just that when you directly compare it, in my opinion, you know, so I wasn't expecting to hear that big of a difference, and I'm not being hyperbolic. Trust me when I say that. I'm not being hyperbolic when I tell you that the change up from V1 to V2 was unbelievable. And yes, it sounds hyperbolic, but in my ears, I can truly hear a tremendous difference. It's almost night and day. I would literally put it at almost night and day, where the latest generation board, there's just more of everything there. Lower noise floor, which automatically means what? More dynamic range, right? The sibilances and such have been subdued even further when they do come about. The bandwidth is literally, as was in the original, I mean, from 1 hertz all the way up to 100 megahertz, right? There's no hum. The system is so quiet. It's explosive. The attack, the decay, when you're playing any kind of rhythmic vinyl or music, that is, or percussive elements, piano, drums, whatever, right? I mean, harps, any, plucking instruments, whatever. Dude, I'm serious. It just sounds unfreaking believable. It really does. And I was super eager to get this upgrade. Of course, in typical EMM fashion, you can do one of two things. You can actually one of three things, I suppose. You can buy a brand new V2. You can send your old V1 to get upgraded to V2. Or you can sell your V1 and just buy a new V2, right? And I think that's still unique in this industry, and I'm glad that EMM Labs keeps up with that. The price has not changed, even though the technology has dramatically improved. Still $12,500 US. And yeah, I was planning to offer sound samples. Unfortunately, I screwed up. Yes, I screwed up. The great Danny Kaey SonicFlare has flared out. And yeah, I screwed up. So I'm hoping to be able to upload sound clips in another video. And yeah, I mean, again, mounts, compatible with any, basically any arm out there. Seriously, it's amazing. So let me give you a couple of examples of what I was listening to specifically. Of course, no test of any kind of vinyl playback can't go without Yellow, or in this case, Boris Blank. One half of Yellow, the other half being Dieter Meier. So this is his last record, Resonance, dual LP, all electronic. Just let me tell you something. I mean, again, percussive elements, electronic elements, it's just more powerful, more forceful. Just more toe tapping. Just amazing. Neil Ardley. So this is Analog October Records' second album. Craig Crane. If you don't have this album, go out and get it. Absolutely fantastic. Harmony of Spheres. Wonderful. All analog for the first time ever. Well, first time ever. He's only done 2 records. Hello! But more will be coming. Absolutely incredible. 70s British jazz fusion, awesome sounding, very wide bandwidth landscape. Chris Isaak, best of, phenomenal record. Super recording, came out 2005, dual LP, just really well done. I mean, Chris Isaak stuff has always been recorded very well, but yeah, the masters on this, no doubt, I'm sure digital, phenomenal. Again, his voice, man, the breadth, the depth, stunning. And then last but not least, even though I played even more records in this, of course, Dr. Tree. This is a band from New Zealand. I think this is 2 albums they made, 3 albums. This is a reissue from the great Wallenbink. Frank has done a superb job. This is probably one of the best recorded drum solos I've ever heard on vinyl. And it's track 1, side 3. That's just absolutely stunning. I mean, put the needle on the record. Put the needle on the record. You put it on, silence, of course, provided it's a silent record. And then just explosion. Like, boom! I mean, unbelievable. So, yeah. Don't take my word for it. Go experience it for yourself. And you will, I'm pretty sure, unless you're, for some reason or another, alienated by DS audio and, going beyond MC and MM and actually creating some new technology, even though it's really not new. Dates back to Philco back in 1947. That's when all this came out. Of course, like I always tell you guys, most things in audio are ancient and old. Toshiba tried it in 1978 to bring it to market. Didn't quite get there. Probably didn't sound any good. I never heard one. And then, of course, DS Audio came out to the stage with it about 15 years ago. And so, again, unless you have some predisposition to not wanting to advance the science of high-end audio, which, believe it or not, there's lots of people that are like that. They do not want it. They want to, dogmatic. I want to listen to stereo only. Monophonic, yes. These are not these people. So if you're one of those, then yeah, I can't help you. If you're genuinely looking to expand your experience in vinyl playback, this is it. Trust me. Hopefully I'll get to playback samples in the next video or in one of these videos. Thanks for tuning in. As always, peace, love, and hair grease. Ciao.